Yeah, hello everybody, what's up? Well, finally we have another boxing weekend that is full of fights who are worthy covering. Yeah, so let's go first to this fight at 154, Erislandy Lara versus LaManna. So this is the veteran Lara, of course, who is at 38 now, and at the end, on his last leg, as they say. Just a second. Shit, what? Alright. So this is actually I'm for the vacant WBA middleweight title. Sorry. So actually now he's a middleweight at the end of his career. His opponent is a guy who is not known as especially, he's got 30 wins and 4 losses already, 1 draw. This guy LaManna, 12 knockouts. So he's hardly, he's knocked out a few people, but they were not so good. He hasn't really. The best guy he has fought is Mike Arnautis, I think. And he lost to Jorge Cota by TKO 5. So Lara should be, of course, a favorite, should be able to beat this guy. Quite, comfortably. But we don't know about his power at 160. He scored a knockout in his second last fight in 2019, but that was at 154, and against a guy that was more like a journeyman. So yeah. I don't know, this may maybe go the distance or maybe not, but Lara will he is very, very likely to win here. Yeah. Yes, I don't know what else to say really. Lara, yeah. I think I'd rather, I don't know. I'd rather pick a points victory for Lara than a stoppage victory. But as I said, both are possible, almost equally. Alright, then moving on. Dereck Chisora versus Joseph Parker. So this is like the big heavyweight fight of this weekend. 1st of May, of course. And this is about two guys that are now this is kind of their last chance for both of them to really get their career back on the right track. But of course, Chisora is the older one. He's 37 now, and he's been fighting professionally since 2007, actually. And Parker is 29, and he's fought since 2012, so he's got 5 years less mileage and 8 years advantage in youth, of course. He's also got 2.5-inch height advantage also. What's always I didn't get sometimes about Parker, like when he fought not Deontay, but Dillian White. He was kind of, I don't know, too passive, like for half of the fight at least. I don't know what was going on in his mind. I guess, he's a rather strong guy. I guess he's used to, out muscling his opponent, because of that. So when he faces a guy who is perhaps even stronger than him physically. Then he struggles maybe, I don't know. But he is still a very good fighter. He can box, he can punch, and pretty much do everything. Yeah. So Dereck Chisora's got 32 wins and 10 losses, and Parker's got 28 wins and 2 losses only. Of course, his last loss was to Dillian Whyte in 2018. Chisora's got 23 knockouts, and yeah. And Parker has got 21. Well, about Chisora, you never really quite know where you got him. Of course, he was outclassed. Well, he wasn't really outclassed for in entire fight anyway, but he was outboxed by Alexander Usyk in his last fight. But he had some good moments, of course, when he pushed Usyk to the ropes. He forced him, and then he was raining blows on him, and he gave him some hard time, of course. But in the end, Usyk is just simply superior as a technical boxer. The younger guy also, and because he's a former cruiserweight, he's a faster guy also, and that's always been one of the main problems with Chisora. Because of his heavy build, he's not very fast or agile, and then he sometimes had a tendency to punch himself out, like when he fought Tyson Fury, and yeah. So a few other guys, I guess, Dillian Whyte maybe in the second fight, and so yeah. So his last victory that was relevant was over David Price, I guess. Well, somewhat relevant. He stopped David Price in 4 rounds. That was pretty impressive. Earlier it didn't look like he had a real punching power. When he fought Fury, for instance, I remember Fury was telling him, "Yeah, how you gonna knock me out with your slaps?" Because he really didn't seem to have such a power. But then late afterwards, in the Takam fight when he was getting punched from seven rounds, and then in the eighth just produced one hell of a knockout by catching him with 2 punches, I guess, on the right spot. It was a big surprise. And he's also knocked out Artur Špilka. But he also can get knocked out, of course, even though Dillian Whyte is the only guy to knock him out clean, so I don't know if I don't think Joseph Parker can do it. Perhaps I can see if Chisora kind of gassed, maybe that would be in the late rounds. Maybe he would retire. He can retire in his corner, but the chances are really big that this will go the distance. And the same goes for Chisora. I don't think he can stop Joseph Parker, because he hasn't been stopped, and he was down twice against Whyte. So yeah, but what I like about Chisora, he really tries to score a knockout always. He just goes out swinging. Yeah. So this fight is where it's in Manchester. Yeah. Well, so that will be a little tougher for Parker, but I think still, if he fights like he has fought, recently, then it shouldn't be such a problem for getting the victory. And especially if he should score a knockdown, or have Chisora hurt and trouble, which I can see definitely. then he should get a decision. Because as I said, I don't really see him stopping Chisora, maybe, but it will be pretty difficult, mighty difficult. Alright, so my prediction is that most likely Joseph Parker wins some points. And then we have Dmitry Bivol, who's one of the best light heavyweights today. He's fighting Craig Richards in another defense of his WBA light heavyweight title. So he's been now actually the full WBA champion since November 2017. Wow. And he's made 5 defenses. So this is his 6th. Yeah. Sorry. And yeah, this guy Richards, I don't really know him, but he's from UK, from London. He's 16-1-1 and 9 knockouts. So he's got, he started rather late because he's now already 30 and he started in 2015. He's 6'1", 73-inch reach. Well, the loss he had, the one loss came from against Frank Buglioni in 2017, a while ago. So he stopped Shaken Peters in his last fight, who was undefeated. That's how he got this fight. And Bivol is 17-0 with 11 knockouts. Since Bivol became, a champion, he hasn't really scored a single, he's only scored in his first 2 championship fights, he scored a knockout. Yeah, that's right. Or no, sorry, it was only his first against Sullivan Barrera. Yeah, that's the one. No, whatever. Trent Brawlhurst, yeah, that's one. So anyway, he has had to go the distance, but he fought some of the best guys. That's why Isaac Chilamba was a very, very tricky fighter. Jean Pascal, Joe Smith Jr., Lane Castillo. But now maybe he will be able to score a knockout and delight everyone in Manchester. I don't know really. So he is of course the clear favorite here. I don't think this guy Richards only has a puncher's chance, of course, but even that is not so big. Yeah, of course. So Dmitry Bivol may be able to stop this guy sometime. I don't know. Perhaps in 8 rounds or something like that. Yeah, let's say that. Maybe even before 6 to 8 rounds, let's see. Alright, and then finally this fight, Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Chris Arreola. This was really such a waste. I mean, whoever made this fight happen, really, I don't know. It's supposed to be like a Mexican fiesta, a Mexican heavyweight fiesta show, and it's a pay-per-view. So you got a guy who hasn't been a relevant force in the division since about 2010 or whatever, 11 maybe, Chris Arreola. and you have him fighting, on a pay-per-view. And Ruiz, of course, who now, of course, is pay-per-view worthy, but he hasn't had a fight since losing to Anthony Joshua. So that's also rather bizarre, I would say. It's pretty rare that you have a fighter whose last fight was a loss fighting a pay-per-view in his very next fight. That's pretty rare. But anyway, what else can one expect here but a total blowout from Ruiz? And he has been training hard. He's been training, so he will likely not come into the ring, in like the last time or last two times or any time before. So he will be in better shape, hopefully, and then I don't think it will last very long. This fight. This will maybe 4 or 5 rounds, and he will just destroy Areola, who never was more than maybe a gatekeeper. He had a decent punch and was big enough, for a heavyweight, but you know he was never in shape either, and he could never really compete with the very best. No way. That was clear. Even when Adamek, the former light heavyweight, beat him, it was clear. Because he's got no real, how do you say it, elite level value as a boxer. So anyway, I don't think Areola will go the distance, or maybe only if Ruiz lets him. Maybe out of mercy, I don't know. But as I said, anyway, 4 or 5 rounds, or maybe even less, should be enough for Andy to stop him. And then we can look forward to him fighting a guy who is really worth, fighting. Alright, that was it for now. See you, and enjoy the fights. Till next time. Take care. Bye bye.